first edition of Startup Funding event. I'm super excited to see you all here. And my name is Veronica. I'm a program coordinator of Startup Funding event. And since I introduced myself a little bit to you, I would like to get to know you a bit more. So I would like to ask you who you are. So let me see your hands. Can I ask you, who's here from the startup scene? Who's a part of startups? Great. What about corporates? And investors? Alright. I'm super excited to see you all here, especially when we think that startup funding event did not exist 5 months ago. It was just a crazy idea that appeared. Let's do something. Let's make a change. So how should we do it? What about bringing world-class founders and startups on one stage to share their ideas, to share their beliefs, to tell you what they think, to make a change? We decided to do it because we believe in sharing innovation for the future generations. And that's why we've been working for 5 months to make it all happen. And this concept is called Startup Funding Event. So let's get ready. We believe that certain mindset drives the innovation. So please join us. Get more curious, open your mind, and experience Startup Funding Event to the fullest. I would like to ask you one question. What if you imagine a world where you have more freedom, to shape your ideas, that they will reach the people with the right knowledge, expertise, and the network, and can get you out there, that you can inspire people and make a change. That's why Innovation Funding Award will be given to the winning startups of Startup Funding Event, and the Innovation Award of 42,000 euros of marketing tools will enable you to share your ideas and make a difference. So there's one person, one startup. What about the others? Because we do believe in sharing, right? What about presenting the ideas of the startups to you, to all of you? Make sure to look it up. Make sure to check out our social media. Make sure to check out the other startups, because we believe that they will make a change. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but we believe that. And right now, those are the deep stuff. Let's move on to the fun stuff. So make sure to hashtag Startup Funding Event with Startup Funding Event hashtag. Make sure to do it. And the winner of the coolest photo will be announced in 7 days on the 19th of April, Thursday. And we'll gather to lunch with us, on us. Startup Funding Event was initiated by 3 companies. Lightning Video Editors, whose guys you can see in those cool t-shirts behind the cameras. Make sure to smile at them, wave at them, high five, because they will make you look good on the camera. Why not 3? Our core team that worked for 5 months to make Startup Funding Event happen. And Lightning Animation Studio, who's even sponsoring a Polaroid and a media wall, so you can grab your friend, move there, and take a picture, so that you can remember this moment. Well, Startup Funding would not be possible if not the great support that we receive from our partnering funders, from our funding partners, which is the city of Rotterdam, which really steps up in helping the young and smart ventures and creates Rotterdam as beautiful as it is right now, today. Okay, the most startup-friendly corporate out there, which has been helping us out from the very beginning of our existence. And Venture Cafe, the connection of innovation in Rotterdam, and will let us use this beautiful place of former theater of Criterion and be amazed by this video carpet out there. I would like to say thank you to our prize contributors who contribute their time, their knowledge and network to create even better ecosystem in the Netherlands. I would like to say thank you to Accenture, TNO, PostNL, and World Startup Factory for contributing their time and making it happen. Right now, I would like to invite to a stage a person that I had the pleasure of meeting through joining Why Not 3. I would like to ask Jasmine Willis to come to a stage, one of the greatest social media person out there. Please welcome the stage.
What an entrance, Veronica. I'm feeling a bit of pressure right now. Welcome everybody. My name is Jasmine Willis and I am a member of Why Not 3. Why Not 3 is a charity organization aimed to help people who want to live their lives in the fast lanes. Think about the overachievers and the people who really want to make a difference in the world. How many of you want to make a difference in the world? Yes! Great! Thank you so much. Otherwise, of course, you wouldn't be here. Well, the problem that we see with people who want to make a difference in the world, they're very motivated, have a lot of energy, go 200 degrees, 200 degrees? 200 kilometers per hour, very, very fast. But eventually hit either burnout or they don't really have the tools to live their life to the fullest. So at Why Not 3, we provide practical and tangible tools like the OWCAT test, a 3-day mastermind, also a bunch of workshops as well for students especially, who really we can really help them definitely live their lives to the fullest. And we do so with an incredible young team as well to help everyone out here. Some of you who may be hitting that wall maybe, I don't know, and might want a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance in that area. We are here with Why Not 3 to help you because we serve those who serve others. We believe that if we can help and guide you guys, that you could also pass that on to maybe the next generation or create a better future. So to do so, we are always looking for other volunteers who want to come together, want to be a part of this amazing, amazing community called Why Not 3, so that we can give more to the rest of the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jasmine, for sharing this. And right now, I'd like to present you to our board of judges who contribute their time and their expertise to create even better startup ecosystem here in the Netherlands. I would like to present you Aditya, the selection lead of World Startup Factory, the accelerator program for impact-driven startups. I would like to tell you something about Anushka from Venture Cafe, one of the most inspiring women I know. Marie-José from KPN, also known as the Queen of Startups. Anita, who is the first contact person of TNO, and Tech Delta, one of the greatest events out there that connect startups and corporates. Rob, the experienced entrepreneur who have already launched 3 companies, including RD&D, and Robert, the innovation manager of the city of Rotterdam, who made it all happen. And right now, let's move to the most exciting part this evening, the startups. And right now, I would like to ask first startup to view their idea. Each of them will have 5 minutes to present their ideas to you, and afterwards, the judges will be asking the relevant questions. After the event, the startups will take part in our fireside session, when we will be asking them more questions. We'll get to know them more, and we'll find out what's actually drive for them. The winners of tonight will be announced in 7 days on 19th of April on every social media of ours. So right now, I would like to tell you how much time and how effort we put to select those 3 most innovative, long-lasting, and practical startups. We spend hours on selecting and discussing about them, and also eating pizza a bit. So right now, I'd like to present you the first startup, Legacy Group. The stage is yours.
Hello, my name is Sebastian Limano. And all my life, hey, can I get a clicker?
Sure. Sure.
Anyway, all my life I have lived in the wet, rainy Netherlands. But through some weird twist of fate, I found myself carrying a legacy to stop the advance of deserts. And the weight is really heavy. It all started 2 years ago, when I got a call from my longtime friend and now business partner, Adnan Al-Alim. Adnan is an inventor's son, and he wants to follow in his father's footsteps. And he had mentioned his father's work before, something about letting plants grow in deserts. But it was that night that I really saw what it was for myself. Ibrahim Al-Alim has invented a new type of super absorbent polymer crystal. These granules, each of them, absorbs 115 times their own weight in water, slowly releasing it to plants in their roots. They were designed to help plants survive even the toughest desert conditions. Now, by having this improved water management, plants can survive 3 times longer without water. And they even grow a little bit faster because, hey, they have a steady supply of water ready to feed it into them. And of course, in solid form, or when they're hydrated, they look like water in solid form. Hence why we call it solid water rather than a super absorbent polymer for agricultural purposes. But despite the potential of this invention, Ibrahim Al-Alim never managed to bring his invention to market. His dreams were too big to carry out right away, and as he struggled, it became clear that as he got older, he would never realize his lifetime dream of creating a green paradise where there was once, the Saharan desert. So we decided to step in and call ourselves Legacy Root. But we are still a very small startup with a very limited scale. As you can see, by the sheer size of the problem of desertification, we are nowhere near, even making a dent in the desert. So we had to start somewhere, which is why we started with individual gardeners and plant lovers, because that is something that we can do. Like, for example, these people at a farmer's market. Because even beyond the desert, solid water is incredibly useful. Until now, every plant lover we shared some with has had an incredibly much easier time growing since. And for me, well, I'm terrible with plants, with my chaotic lifestyle and everything. But now, because my plants are protected from underwatering, my room is green instead of brown. Still, our goal has remained unchanged, to end desertification as Ibrahim had sought to do before us. That's why for every package we sell, we make 1 square meter of deserts green again. So that way, by purchasing solid water, you not only keep your houseplants alive, but also Ibrahim's dream of green deserts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And right now, I would like to ask judges to have any questions.
Who would be the client for your product in the desert?
Like for our projects in the desert, you mean, or the people buying it for their houseplants?
No, for the desert. I think both.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, well there is, for example, Burkina Faso, where we now have, we have some contacts, and it turns out that rain season is coming soon. But the problem isn't that there isn't any rain, it's just once it rains a lot, and then the period ends again. So we think that that's where we can apply a lot of, a lot of help. And secondly, if we look a bit more regional, if we look at Europe, even Europe is facing desertification. If you look at Spain and Italy, so we're also focusing now on Italy in the Foggia region, where there's also you see land erosion causing rocks to crumble down, and olive harvests are kind of failing. So yeah, that's where
So would it be national governments?
in the sense of clients, they would still be. I'm not sure if we are big enough for national governments yet, but definitely local initiatives we can already support.
Yeah, there's also a possible breaking ground for us on I'm losing the word. Refugee camps in dry areas, so that they can actually start growing their own food without where it's actually otherwise impossible.
In which case our client would be NGOs, but that's a different story.
And there's a beautiful story, especially with your dad involved in this. Why are you still here in the Netherlands?
We started here. Why not? It's kind of plant country, isn't it? Really, we want to be everywhere. We love traveling. We've just been working from here, but really the living space for our company is at this point on the internet, and that is not really located in any one place.
Wouldn't it be better to stay closer to your customers, people that you're solving a problem with, to understand it better?
Absolutely. We also do things with, for example, in Saudi Arabia. That's where my dad lived. It's where he started with the desert plantations and everything. That's one place where you could go, but our customers are not in these places. As in, our core customer is the home grower, is the urban jungler, is the one that has 50 to 500 plants at home. It's to them that we sell, and for them we're solving that problem, so that eventually we can move, with their purchases we can actually get it to the people who need it the most.
Even though our product is not cost effective enough for that market.
How scalable are you if you want to cover the whole world? What's your skill level?
Yeah. So my father tried to go right away, very large scale, start a factory of 240 million euros and produce 40,000 to 80,000 tons of material per year. Him trying that ended up with him accumulating a lot of debt because he couldn't yet prove demand. That's why we started. We started so that we could prove demand, and after that move on stepwise up to larger scales.
But if you look at similar technologies, our product does have the potential to outscale any product currently on the market today.
Why?
Because Ibrahim's recipe, right now our crystals absorb about 115 times their own weight in water. Under ideal conditions that he created in his laboratory, he managed to pull off 1,250 times their own weight in water per granule. So that means that you use 10 times as little of the stuff. And because you are working with an advantage of scale, your product also becomes 10 times cheaper. So that means that we can cover an exponentially bigger area than what we can right now, once we get to scale.
For a little bit more perspective, this is our smallest package, costs €2.50. We ship it worldwide for free. This absorbs half a liter of water. This package absorbs 2 liters of water and costs $9.50.
Great. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for. So right now, I would like to ask second startup. Scone.
Thank you, and thank you for the clicker. The pronunciation is Scone, but you're not the first one to get it in a very special way. thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much that I get the opportunity to tell all of you about Scone. I'm sorry I couldn't bring any sample of what we're doing because our product is a 20-foot container, so it doesn't really fit through the door. Because what we are going to do is accelerate energy transition through sharing batteries. That's our catchphrase. Everybody needs a catchphrase, right? So, what type of batteries are we going to share? Well, I'll get back to that later. But first, who is working on this? Because it's a startup, so you want to know about the team. That's me, Peter Bol. I am the founder of the company, and I am very happy with Dan. He joined last September, and since then we've skyrocketed. But it's not just us, it's a team of engineers that is helping us part-time. It's a team of financial people, it's a team of social media people, software developers. If you check our new website, by the way, that's also made by some very wonderful people. And I think that's the cool thing about having a startup. People are so excited about it. They see that you want to make a change, but that you don't have the money to get there, so they help you for free. So it's a big team, it's not just us, it's huge. So if you want to join. But what's the problem? What are we facing? Well, first of all, energy generation is not in demand with energy use. Oh yeah, demand. Energy generation is not in harmony with energy demand. What am I saying here? During the day we have all the solar panels and they create energy, and that energy is actually demanded at night when you all come home and plug in your Teslas and everything. So that's not in demand. So what are we looking for here? Some kind of storage idea. Well, let me tell you about that. And then there's an increasing demand for green energy as a whole. Not just an increasing demand for energy, because of our lifestyles, but for green energy as well. So companies, festivals, organizations, events are all investing more and more in using green energy instead of black, grey, or whatever type of energy. And then here in Rotterdam, we might all know the number, but I think there are not only maritime people in the whole, but 90% of world transport is done by ships. And the majority of these ships is driven by heavy fossil fuels. You came here by car, the asphalt that you've driven over is one step away from the fuel we currently use in the maritime industry. So it's some dirty stuff, so we need some kind of a solution for that. So, what is our solution? What are we going to contribute to this energy transition in the maritime industry and beyond? First of all, we are going to prepare vessels for electric sailing. That means that we train the crew, we get some extra cables in there, we make sure that the propeller is driven by an electrical engine instead of directly by a diesel engine. And all of this we want to offer it as a package, because there are so many options out there, but we want to make sure that we have the best parties, the best refit yard, the best engineering company, the best electrician company, all together working on a package that we can apply to all the different ships. And then a network of Scone boxes, and that's our product. Well, it's not really our product, but that's what we're going to use. Scone boxes with 100% green energy. So a 20-foot container, because that's what we're already used to. We can use that right away. The whole infrastructure is there. And then, because we need a digital platform, everybody needs a digital platform, we also do Scone Sailor. And we use that to make sure that this whole infrastructure of swappable batteries is managed in the most efficient way possible. Some numbers. On a regular ship that you see here in Rotterdam, we can sail 30 to 50 nautical miles. I'm sure you're not all familiar with nautical miles, but we say that with one Scone box, one 20-foot equivalent unit, we can sail between 10 to 20 hours, depending on your ship size, weather, everything. I mean, it's a number that maybe doesn't speak to your imagination, but it tells you that it can be that we can actually propel a big ship. This is more than 100 meters. And we're used to our iPhones dying by the end of the night. So, just to give you some idea, we can have a little festival powered by one box for 3 days. Not too big of a stage. If you get a big stage, you just get some extra boxes. And we can provide energy storage for a 16 megawatt hour wind turbine park. Just some numbers. Come to me at the drinks afterwards to get some explanation behind them. So, if you want to know more, please contact us. we love working together. We have some great partnerships already, but I'm sure that we have some great people here in the house to join us and make the world Scone again, because Scone is clean in Dutch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scone, for contributing to the maritime industry. And right now I'd like to ask judges if they have any questions to Scone.
Can you tell us something about your partners?
Sorry. Do you want me to use the mic? Yeah, for the people in the back that are falling asleep. Some of our partners. I can mention names, but not on video. So come to the drinks afterwards. But so this whole industry is the whole energy industry is huge, and the whole maritime industry is huge. But for these batteries to work, to have the right requirements to work at a festival, at a ship, everything, we see that the maritime industry has the strictest requirements. So I can tell you that the partners that we have right now that we're actively working with are all connected to the maritime industry. Almost all I have to say, actually, but yeah.
Wondering what stage are you in right now? And also, you say on your website that containerized energy storage has been there for a while now. So I'm wondering how different are you?
Yeah, I was Googling for months and months before I even started the company, like what is different about us, what is out there already. Containerized energy storage has been there for years, but it's all bolted onto something. It's not mobile. So that has a lot of consequences on the technical side. You have to have dampers on the inside. I don't know if you know a little bit about the maritime industry, but regularly containers are dropped from 0.5 meter high because the crane driver up there thinks, oh yeah, I think it's almost there, so releases it, but then it's still 0.5 meter. So you're dealing with a lot of dynamic factors there. Your other question was, what stage are you in right now? This summer we're going to do our first electrical miles, and the only constraint right now is the delivery of the batteries. When will they get there? But we have the ship, we've been on board, and it's a beautiful ship, and that's also what I like about the company. I get to board ships. We have the software and everything, but it's just the delivery of the batteries that everybody wants batteries these days. So. Yeah, no, we buy them. Yeah, so we try to work with the best proven technology, the best standards, because it needs to work in all circumstances. So we shouldn't reinvent the wheel and try to make something smart, but we should trust the guys that have already done that.
But what's then the Scone coverage or sauce, or I don't get it?
Yeah, I understand. It's the infrastructure that needs some kind of in Dutch we call it dirigent. We need someone who is in charge of the location of these batteries, or at least knows where they are, and also runs this platform with algorithms telling me I should have extra batteries in the north of Holland because it's going to be extra windy there, or in Limburg we're going to have extra festivals, so we need extra batteries there. And beyond that, we take the maritime industry as a core, as our foundation, with the vision of upscaling. Many people tell me you can make much more money in other industries if you leave the maritime out. And then I tell them, well, once, first of all, I want to board ships, so it's an excuse. Second of all, if we keep that in mind, the only truly global industry that can easily be scaled up is the maritime industry. We come everywhere. Where there's no airstrip, where there's no train, rails, we come everywhere. So once that is your foundation, this upscaling, which will happen in several years within Europe, and then eventually global, is a much easier step.
One last question maybe. Are you working exclusively with some of these producers of batteries?
No. Because of this delivery time, we just tell all the battery suppliers, like, what is your delivery time? And we say also, what is your shock proofness? So we're constantly looking for the existing technologies. On top of that, we also know that lithium-ion is not the final perfect solution. You use lithium, you use cobalt, you use nickel. In Sudan, well, God knows what's happening there with the production of, or the extraction of these materials. So we're also looking into the new type of battery. The founder, or the inventor of the lithium-ion battery released a paper last April, a year ago actually, about an aluminium solid-state battery, taking away the risk of fires and explosions, but also using much less of these materials. So we're also looking into that.
So yeah, as a follow-up of why you're free, how do you cope or manage stress? First question. Second question is about your personal roadmap. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a good one. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I have no idea. A year ago, I realized, okay, many people told me this should be a company. I did not see this coming, that I would be here. So where I will be in 5 years, I hope somewhere close to a ship and close to the sea. And I hope that Scone has grown to at least European level. Your other question was with stress. How do I cope with stress? I'm a photographer and I really like photography, so I'm excited to see all the cameras here. So when I have a weekend free, I love going out and taking pictures. I love sailing. So the sailing season has started, so I can switch to the sailing again. So yeah, I try to do that. But I mean, this is a project that doesn't give you any stress. It just gives me a lot of energy. And yeah. So.
You have always extra batteries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just that the energy from my body doesn't get into the battery, so we have to find a way to do that. But if there's someone who knows about that. There's one more question?
I was wondering, what is your biggest challenge? Because it sounds great. What do you still have to work very hard on?
Technically speaking, our biggest challenge is rules and regulations. So we're going to put a battery with, if it goes wrong, quite some firepower into a cargo space of a ship. So that's, technically speaking, one of the biggest challenges. And on a company level, I think it's the rate of growth that we can sustain. So we have two possibilities. Either we grow healthy and also like for our stress levels that we can still manage it. But there is the possibility, and that's very how do you say that? We can expect this to happen in the maritime industry, that we show for one ship this summer, and then for 5 ships next year, 10 ships, that we suddenly get 500 calls of shippers telling me, I saw that the neighbor did it, I want it as well, and tomorrow please, and I don't want to wait. So that's a challenge to see at which point is the flood coming, and we'll be ready for that. So also all the partners that we're working with are all picked on being scalable, so that we can work with them this year and next year, but also if 500 ship owners call at the same time, that they still have the capabilities of scaling with that, or even that they can already do it. So.
On the website, I also saw that we're focusing on the United Nations 2030 goals, number 7.
Sustainable Development Goals.
You're talking about shipping industry, windmills, festivals, and construction. I think these people can afford these services. So why are you catering to these people?
They can, who? Sorry.
The shipping industry,
Yeah.
windmills, festivals, and construction. They can afford this sort of energy through other sources. So
Yeah.
why are you focusing on these people instead of somebody that really needs this?
You mean they can afford it financially or technically? Financially. Well, to speak for the shipping industry, they cannot afford anything that is close to sustainable. The margins are really low, and they're really turning every penny. That it's on a large scale, so that multi-billions are running around in the industry, doesn't mean that they make a lot of that. So if we look at all the solutions, the first question is always, what is this going to cost? How much per kilowatt hour is it extra? To give you some scale, the average ship owner in Holland pays 20 cents per kilowatt hour for running its ship. And if we already say, well, our solution is going to be 25 per kilowatt hour, then they say, well, that's too expensive. then I'm losing too much, and then like I'm almost paying for that. For the festivals and that side, there we go back to the increase of green energy, the increase of demand in green energy. So they are willing to pay, and they are willing to pay even more if it's 100% green energy.
You're just starting with the ship industry then?
No, always combining. So the battery that we'll use this summer, when it's not on the ship, we'll be using it at festivals and all those things. Because we want to make sure that the ship owner doesn't have to pay for being an early adapter.
Is there still time? Yeah. Did you think of net distributors and energy net distributors as your clients in order to be able to peak shave?
Yeah, peak shaving. Yeah, peak shaving on the national grid is a big thing, but also frequency control reserve on neighborhood perspective level is a big thing. Talked to one of them yesterday, so yes, and it was very good because this was on my to-do list for such a long time to have a good serious talk with the energy providers that we have, because they're also looking for solutions. Like we have all these windmills that suddenly produce so much energy they have to turn them off at windy days just because this grid is can't handle it, and they're also looking to increase the efficiency of every wind turbine they have. So they are also looking for these kind of solutions, and we're talking to them here.
Any other questions?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we've received a message that next startup, because of the personal reasons, was not able to make it here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You're still more than welcome to check them out. We truly believe that they can make a difference. And it's baby. Right now, I would like to ask Lova to tell us something more about the company that makes this everything look super pretty.
I'll put the camera down. So AV is, I think, in traffic, so let's give them a chance. Thank you so much for coming. Lightning Video Editors is doing the video here tonight, but I want to thank the conference team. I want to thank Veronica for hosting. A quick explanation about what we do. So most people think, hey, another video agency, look at all those cameras. So we specifically chose video editors as a name so that people don't actually focus on the filming. 3 years ago, I had a vision. So I had a friend that went and ordered a video, and it was completely, like, it was horrible. And he tried to get a feedback from this filmmaker, and it didn't happen. So at the time, I looked at it and I was like, why couldn't this be adjusted? What was so hard about this? And what was so hard was, it was a very creative skill, and all the feedback, especially if you're a freelance filmmaker and you have 10 projects going on, you don't want to deal with feedback. So we needed to develop something to change this industry, to change the mindset of this industry. And what we developed was an algorithm. And the first algorithm, when we first launched, was for after movies. This was 3 years ago. So you take, let's say, an event like this, and you make a video. But the most important part, because everybody always asks, can we have the video like within 24 to 48 hours? So the first part was speed. We needed to create something that goes really fast. So for instance, this morning, the startups were recorded, right? So we expect to have those videos done as fast as possible so that people can actually launch it on their website. So what we actually figured out that when we started doing our market research after we launched is that we suddenly found a way through software and algorithms with machine learning that we sped up the process 4 times faster. And then we thought, what if we create a solution where we're kind of the workforce? We're the workforce for corporates, but also marketing agencies. What would that price have to be? And it wasn't going to be 2 times cheaper, it had to be 4 times cheaper so that there was enough margin. And so we created that algorithm, we launched it, it worked really well, we still maintained the 4 times under market price, And that's how we do it so far. And then the beauty came that, of course, you have ups and downs within business. And so with us, we had a summer down because all of our clients were corporates and everybody's on a vacation. So then we realized this isn't sustainable as a business model within the film industry. We're obviously changing and revolutionizing this. So how can we change it in a positive way? How can we change it in such a way that every freelancer and filmmaker and corporates can enjoy what we have to offer? And so we created another algorithm in a new industry that was arising, which was animations. And when we launched this one in South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, where the city of Rotterdam sponsored us to go there, so we're really thankful for them. And we launched this 2D animation and it went crazy. So again, same principle, 4 times faster, 4 times more cost effective. And then we thought, okay, so we're growing, what do people like? Drones. So how about we get a drone license? So as of last year, August, we also have a drone license within the Netherlands and specific regions in Europe, and specific regions in the US as well. And what we did there is we thought, okay, so everybody wants a drone, but nobody wants to pay for it. What if we just offer it for free? And so for specific kind of clients, we offer drones for free. And then today, we're launching something even much nicer, thanks to the team of Lightning Animation Studios, which is a blast to the past, which is Polaroid. So as you go to the drink today, you'll be having my crew take Polaroid pictures of you to have a nice memory of the event. And that is Lightning Video Editors. So without further ado, I'd like to transition to Veronica.
So we received a good message. Avi actually made it. So I would like to ask right now Avi to the stage.
Hi there. Sorry for the delay. I had to come first from Nicaragua to New York and to Holland and then to here and then God again, but I'm here. So that's good. Alrighty, so when I was a little boy, I loved everything that was flying. Helicopters, rockets, and airplanes. Well, like most boys, I think I like them a lot. And I still do, actually. But as a little child, I also noticed something else. I found that whenever I was watching the news with my parents, it touched me. It really touched me many times. When I saw how we society were destroying the forest, how we were killing animals, how there were so many people suffering in need. So as a little boy, I really wanted to do something about it. And I noticed that just my pocket money giving to some kind of charity wouldn't do it. At the same time, I wanted to do fun stuff with aircraft, and that actually came together within AV. So within AV now, we're a bunch of nerds that really want to make a positive impact on society. And how do we do that? We do that by creating a new type of aircraft. About 2 years ago, together with the European Space Agency, Technical University in Delft and some other partners, we created a new type of aircraft that's actually not a drone and not an airplane, but it combines the best of both worlds. So it's able to take off and land vertically like any drone, hover in midair, but also it can transform. So the wings can fold out and it can fly really long distances, like hundreds of kilometers. And this way, it suddenly was a lot better than all the other drones available, but it was very, very cheap. So not even as expensive as normal airplanes or helicopters are. And this way we could do a lot of things. At this moment, in Africa, there are about 5,000 rhinos left. Last year, 2017, 1,028 got killed. You do the math. These are things that we don't, like the people there in national parks don't know what to do. So we help them. We're at the moment flying in national parks in Africa, trying to find poachers, helping to locate the wildlife, not only rhinos, but also elephant, and that way we help out. We're testing together with UNICEF to bring medicine, vaccines to far out areas, but also to help out during an emergency or a disaster. And at the same time, we're working together with coastal organizations, rescue organizations, to help out in the Mediterranean Sea. Because I know that very likely you've all seen the huge crisis with the refugees on the Mediterranean Sea. Many people drowning every year because they cannot swim. So we developed a drone that can locate people and help them by dropping a rescue device. So these are things we want to do. We have a beautiful product, a beautiful service, and a very passionate team, but we really need awareness. So that's why I'm here, and I hope you guys will support us. Thank you very much.
Is your product live now, or are you building it? Are the 3 examples real life examples or dreams?
No, well, they are real life examples. Like in Africa, we're actually flying. For the rest, we are performing tests. So, for example, with UNICEF for the search and rescue organizations, we're in the test phase. So that means that we have a product and we are testing it. We're working with regulators to see if we can actually fly, because while the technology is there, you still need the permission to actually do so. So that's where the phase we're in. In Africa, we've got permission and we're working.
And how scalable are you? How do you scale it? Because the drone airplane is USB, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So we build it in quite a modular way. So that means that the inside, the belly of the aircraft, so to say, is modular and swappable. So that way you can change the application from delivering medicine in a cool box, but also, for example, in Africa now, we found that there's quite a lot of people that got snake bites. They need an anti-venom very quick, so you need cool, special cool boxes, so we can change it with that as well. And for many other applications we do also.
Self-driving drone sounds really cool. Like nobody in this room would deny that, right? We didn't talk about that.
Yeah. Because it's already so obvious for me. Okay, so yeah, no, the drone itself is fully self-flying. So, and not only because it's a lot more convenient, but also because it's a lot safer. We found that the system we are using now and that we made, so it takes off and lands by itself. It flies to the locations you set beforehand. We're even able, with some sort of intelligence, to sense where other things in the air are and avoid them, and that way we can avoid obstacles, for example.
It's safer than remote control drones?
Because in a near surrounding, like how most people use the common drones, you can see quite well what's happening. But on a longer range, then your visual line of sight goes, it's almost impossible to actually fly it remotely.
Whereas even the night vision is better with self.
Exactly, night vision. We use thermal cameras, we use other sensors as well, because in bad weather, for example, and low visibility, we use a new form of radar, it's called LiDAR, so it works on laser, and that way we can combine and layer many different sensor types, so we can increase the safety and the stability.
One more question for me. I saw a very inspired video on YouTube today.
Yeah.
I was trying to study your startup, and it was about birds attacking drones. Is this really a big problem? Because I hear in the US alone 13,000 incidents of birds flying into the flats.
Yeah, it happens like for big aircraft, it's a huge problem. So that's why most airports have a lot of ideas and solutions to prevent bird attacks. For the drones, it's not that much of a problem. We sometimes have very curious animals. We have very curious giraffes and even rhinos and elephants that are trying to inspect what's going on, what's flying there, but we never had a problem with a bird.
Do I understand correctly that the drone is built by your company only and that it is unique in its sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And right now, I would like to invite the startups to the stage. So please, Avi, come by. I would like to ask Scone
Yeah, thank you.
And right now you receive a small gift from us.
Here we go. Small gift. Wow, that's cute. That's cute. All right then. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining Startup Fun Event. The winner of Startup Fun Event will be announced in 7 days on all our social media channels, so keep posted. I would like to say thank you once again a lot to all of the partners that supported us, the startups, our team made it all happen, and I would like to say thank you to you, because if you were not here, I would be just talking to my team. So thanks a lot.
Can we actually have the team of the Startup Funding event onto the stage?
Sure.
We would like to see your faces as well.
Come join us, guys. So please make a loud applause for those guys. So you might think that's the end, but actually it's not the end. We're coming back with even bigger event, more startups, even more innovation. Book your date, because we're joining Amsterdam Capital Week in September, 28th of September, Friday. So book it now, because it's going to be amazing.
Als ik denk, dat is van vindt iemand leuk en is er gewoon op geklikt. It takes two to tango, but you can't tango one to one tango.
Before you leave, please make sure to check out all the events, innovative events happening in Rotterdam. Make sure to book your day for Rotterdam Capital Days, the 24th of April. Make sure to book your day for Tech Delta and Startup Delta Summit on 19th of April. Make sure to check us out and during Amsterdam Capital Week, the week of September, and join Venture Cafe every Thursday, because this is where connection happens. And as a last note, I would just like to ask you for one last thing. Approach the person you did not talk with before and say hi. Make a connection and get inspired. Thank you.